I'm so excited you all are here and joining us tonight. We're expecting just over 80 people this evening, and we're so delighted to be connected with so many friends. I know Quaker events often start with some silence, which those of us who got on early did a little bit of. We're going to start tonight with a music video. I always like to start with music, particularly at the end of a day. You are welcome to sit and watch this, to get up and dance with it, to move in any way that works for you. You're welcome to have your camera on or off while you do that, whatever is comfortable for you. This is a video that came out of Standing Rock and the pipeline protests there. And so much of that movement is so much of the energy that I'm hoping friends can move more fully into, that I wanted to start with that.
They call it a pipeline, but those on the front lines know that black snake was sent for us to grow, to shed the skin our ancestors pray, of wounds old and calloused, so that we may stay, so that we may unite, unity our tool. No weapons are found in this court of rule. Men becoming ki'ais, steadfast in their guard, protecting women's hearts as their song becomes roots to cast out healing for all sentient beings, to honor sacred mother, heart forward we heal. The salmon will run, the Mauna will breathe, the rivers will flow. The rainbow is here and prophecy tells us all generations will hear.
First Nations and our people that been living here for thousands of years. Stand up. We've been fighting for our freedom since the Nina and the Pinta and the Santa Maria. Stand up. Like Geronimo, Sitting Bull, Red Cloud, Crazy Horse, Leonard Peltier. Stand up. Now they poisoning the waters for our sons and our daughters, so we on the frontier. We won. One nation, one cause, one people, one tribe. Now it's us against the pipeline. Get on your feet for Standing Rock, and we'll show you how strong we could be when we unify.
To all my native people, recognize yourself, keep your head up. To all my tribal people, recognize yourself, keep your head up. To all my native people, to all the original people, to all my indigenous people, recognize yourself, keep your head up. Stand up, 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 stand up.
From the beginning we was winning this game on planet Earth. It's been spinning, we've been living and dying, but giving birth the first of many nations. Celebrating them days when all that got made came after what God made. These days we cater to these internet memes, internet streams. It seems them streams aren't clean. We need the whole story seen. We're hassling before water has gasoline in it. Malcolm X moment, Martin Luther King with a dream and war boning. Wounded knee plus Alcatraz doggone it. This is for the rock, with prayers we stand on it.
Oh yeah, we playing on it, the earth we camp on it. In a sweat lodge singing our songs with grandfathers. Heat rocks all in the spot, we splash on them with a beatbox from my boy, we jam on it. Said a prayer for the black snake killers. Praying on the front lines, they you're the realest. Stand for your people, stand for your family. Stand with Standing Rock, stand for humanity. Hey.
It takes a group of people who actually care about, Mother Earth and life and water being sacred and the land being sacred to say, we stand up.
To all my native people, recognize yourself, keep your head up. To all my tribal people, recognize yourself, keep your head up. To all my native people, to all the original people, to all my indigenous people, recognize yourself, keep your head up. Stand up, 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 stand up.
Mini Wachoni, water is life.
Mini Wachoni.
Water is life.
Water is life. Water is life.
Water is life.
I stand with Standing Rock.
I stand with Standing Rock.
I stand with Standing Rock. Stand up. Stand up.
Stand up.
Stand up.
I stand with Standing Rock. Stand up.
To all my native people,
Woke up the giant, we won't go quiet.
to all my tribal people,
Don't mistake our peace as we stand defiant.
to my native people,
It's the calm before the storm, and I can hear it coming.
to all my
tribal people. I'm ready for the battle when we ain't running.
Stand up, stand up, stand up, stand up. Stand up, stand up, stand up. Stand up, stand up, stand up. Stand and rock, stand and rock. Stand up, stand up, stand up. Stand up, stand up, stand up. Stand up, stand up, stand up. Stand and rock, stand and rock.
Standing rock, we're standing feet as history is on a sad repeat. Is it liberty or we just acting free as our land depletes from these hands of greed? See, fate is found, how we face the hounds. Take a vow for these sacred grounds. Make a sound that'll shake them out. Say aloud, what can save us now?
Save us now.
Thank you, friends. So, as we mentioned in the orientation video, one of the things we are going to be paying attention to throughout this course is how we are receiving and processing things with our bodies, with our spirit, with our mind. So one of the things I invite you to do, if you want in the chat right now, is to just take a moment and check in with yourself. And whatever thing you are feeling, it can be an emotion, it can be a physical sensation, it can be a thought, to put a word in the chat of just how you experienced any part of that video that we just watched. So I'm now going to turn it over to Brianna for our next piece.
Thank you, Lisa. After that energizing, inspiring, saw the word grief in there, sorrow, energy. After that song, I'm going to help ground us a little bit in this space together tonight with a practice that comes from Resmaa Menakem's book, My Grandmother's Hands. So if everybody could sit, stand, or lie down comfortably, preferably with both feet on the ground if possible. And you're welcome to turn your video off for this portion, but leave it on if you're comfortable, and close your eyes when you find a comfortable seat. And let's start by taking 3 deep breaths together. So exhale everything out. Let's take a deep inhale in and out. Breathe in and out. And one more time, in and out. Now, keeping your eyes closed, imagine yourself floating in space. Below you, planet Earth turns slowly. Watch it turn for a few seconds. Slowly descend until the part of the country you're in fills your field of vision. Stay directly above it, like a GPS satellite, so that it doesn't move beneath you. Keep descending until you're looking down on whatever city, town, mountain, valley, or other area your body is sitting in right now. Continue your descent until you're looking down at the top of the building you're in. If you're seated outdoors, descend far enough so that you can see your own body below, as if you're viewing it from a helicopter. Keep dropping slowly and steadily until you can see your body in detail, as if you're about 10 feet above it. Observe your body's posture, any movements it makes, and the clothing it's wearing. Slowly and smoothly, descend the rest of the way and slip inside your body. For a few breaths, simply be aware of being in your body. Relax and let the chair, the floor, or the bed, whatever you're sitting on, support you. Then notice the sensation of the chair against your legs and your thighs. Now notice how it feels against your back. Take one more deep breath in and out. And you can open your eyes and reorient yourself to the space that you're in. It's helpful to look around you and especially to look behind you and just notice where you are and what presence you're bringing into the space with you tonight. And I will pass it back to Lisa for the next portion.
Thanks. We're going to take a few minutes now and do some more formal introductions and some orientation to this evening. So Jen's going to start us off as our technical and programmatic host.
Yes, thank you, Lisa, and hello all. Now you can put a face to a name. If you have not met me yet, my name is Jen Higgins Newman, and I'm the program manager here at Beacon Hill Friends House, where I live and work. So for those who don't know, Beacon Hill Friends House is a Quaker center for learning and action, as well as a residential community of about 20 people who live according to Quaker values in downtown Boston, Massachusetts. We're so excited to be with you all with this timely and important program and this content. Before we get further into that content tonight, I have some technical housekeeping information for you. That is all I have. So again, welcome friends. We're so glad to be with you this evening, and I'll turn things back over to Lisa, Brianna, and Emma.
Great. I think Emma's next up for us.
Hi, friends. Thank you all for joining us. Lisa, Brianna, Jen, and I are really, really excited that you're here. And yeah, I'm very energized already. Just going to do a quick introduction of myself, followed by some introductions of co-facilitators, and then I'll be back with a land acknowledgement. But for now, my name's Emma Turcott. I use she, her, hers pronouns. I am a Chinese American adoptee who worships with Beacon Hill Friends Meeting currently. I am inhabiting the land of the Massachusetts in an area called Dorchester, and I'm really excited to begin this course with you all, and I'm grateful to be a part of this team. And I think that offering this crucial work of connecting and being in relation right now is especially important just because of the physical distance that we're all forced to abide by, that's teaching us to recognize disconnection. And I think that this course is really suited for the moment we're experiencing. I'm going to turn it over to Brianna.
Thank you, Emma. As Emma mentioned, as you can see, my name is Brianna, and I use she, her pronouns. I live on Wabanaki land in Appleton, Maine, and I attend Vassalboro Friends Meeting virtually now and have been in person since before I was born. I am really, really excited to be here on this call with you all tonight and to be co-facilitating this course with such an incredible team, with Emma and Lisa and Jen and Ahem holding the space for us. This is work that I have been doing for a very long time and had not been doing outwardly until very recently. I'm currently a full-time traveling minister being supported by a fund from the Legacy Gift Grant through New England Yearly Meeting. And this work of helping both myself and people within the communities that I'm a part of understand the interconnectedness and the nature of interbeing of humans and everything else in the universe and all of life on Earth is something that I'm very passionate about, and trying to help people understand the culture of separation that we have collectively been raised in here in the West is something that I am also passionate about. So excited to be here with you all tonight, and I'll pass it on to Lisa.
Thanks. So again, my name is Lisa. I'm a part of Three Rivers and Beacon Hill Meeting. I grew up in this yearly meeting, and the first place I think where I was really exposed to what the power of unconditional love can do in community was in the Young Friends program. And ever since then, I've tried to bring the power of what it is to show up fully, to be invited to show up fully, and to work together for a greater good that I learned in that space into all the other spaces I've gotten to inhabit. So this feels like an extension of that work. And several of you on the call tonight were my staff people when I was a young person. So thank you. As Brianna mentioned, Ahem Corbage is here holding us in prayer and will be helping out a little bit. And Melody Brazo is also here tonight, who is just holding us in prayer and serving as an elder. And so we are grateful for their presence and being here. So let me turn it back over to Emma.
Before we begin this course, we'd like to offer a land acknowledgement. This is a statement that recognizes the homelands of the Indigenous people on whose land we are living. And land acknowledgements reflect the Indigenous cultural practice of protocol. So acknowledging and appreciating that one is on the land of another and bringing to our collective awareness one of the many aspects of settler colonialism. In future sessions, we will ask some of you to acknowledge the land that you're on, but for tonight, Lisa and I are neighbors, and we would like to acknowledge that the land we are sitting with right now while hosting this virtual space is the unceded traditional territory of the Neponsit Band of the Massachusetts Tribal Nation. We acknowledge the tribal governments and their roles today in taking care of these lands and acknowledge them as the past, present, and future caretakers of this land. Just last week, after 36 years of legal battles, the Massachusetts legislature voted to change the racist imagery of our state flag and seal. We will share more on the Google Classroom about ways that we can actively support Indigenous-led organizing and activism. If you know the names of the peoples whose land you are on, we invite you to write them in the chat in acknowledgement. If you do not know, we have linked a map in the Google Classroom where you can find this information later.
So as people are writing that, I want to just offer two other pieces around expectations for how we're going to be together tonight. And the reason I'm doing it while we're doing a land acknowledgement here is that part of a land acknowledgement is acknowledging, as Emma said, whose land we're on and the bigger history that we are actively inhabiting right now. All of that is about moving towards a greater level of truth-telling and being with wholeness with each other. And so my hope and expectation tonight is that we can honor each other, we can support each other. Information we share in small groups stays private to those spaces and confidential. And any learnings or new understandings we have coming out of tonight and future sessions that we share out and continue to talk about. That all of the Indigenous activism I know of is about truth-telling, is about moving into greater right relationship, is about honoring the past so that we can serve the generations coming after us. So as you all do your own land acknowledgements here in the chat, let us step into that understanding and way of being that aligns with our Quaker practices of truth-telling, of sustainability, of community, and of care for each other. We're going to move into small groups in a moment. Emma's going to let you know what's going to be happening in those small groups. And then you'll get a chance to actually talk with each other and meet some other people on the call tonight.
All right, so for the next 10 minutes, we're going to put you in breakout rooms with 2 other people. And in this space, we're going to invite you to introduce yourself by sharing pieces of information about who you are that you feel comfortable with. So this could be, but does not have to include your preferred name, pronouns, ethnic background, land you are inhabiting, and so on. After everyone has shared a bit about who they are, we would like you to go around and share your response to the following prompt. Something I want to tell you that will help me be present tonight is. While one person is sharing, the other 2 should be listening deeply and holding one another in prayer, light, or any other worshipful and supportive space. We'll come back together at 7:25, and these instructions will be posted in the chat for you to refer back to while you're in your group.
If you just did some quick math, you'll know that the numbers there don't quite add up. So we'll be coming back at 7:30.
35, sorry.
32. You're going to have about 8 minutes in these groups. So Jen, if you can send folks to groups, and we've put the prompt in the chat, so you will have that with you when you're in your groups.
Yes, I have them set for 8 minutes. So we will just take you there, and we'll see you soon.
So welcome back, everyone. We know there can be abrupt ends from breakout groups in Zoom, and we welcome you back. We're going to do a number of breakout rooms tonight, just so we're a smaller space than 80 plus people. The folks you were just with, you will continue to be with in your breakout rooms along with some others, because we wanted to provide some continuity as well as a chance to meet other people. The next thing we're going to do, which we will move into breakout rooms to do, but we will model here first, is invite you all to share your intentions in taking this course. That when I have done things like this in person and I've invited you all to bring an object that in some way represents your intention, what we would do in person is we would stand up and put those objects on a table in the room to honor our intentions, to honor the people who have helped us get here, to honor the people who are coming after us, but mostly to honor the intentions that we're bringing and to hold them collectively. And so in a moment, Brianna has volunteered to share her intention with all of us as a modeling of that. And our job while she's sharing is just to listen, to receive as we would in worship, and that the energy we send back is that her actions align with her intention and that we are sending her our spiritual love and care for her intention. Because it can feel hard to share into the void of Zoom, after a person shares their intention, we invite 1 or 2 people in the room to again just share a word of something they felt while they were listening. So we're not offering commentary. We are not saying, oh yeah, that's my intention too. We're not saying, oh, I felt the same way about this thing, but we're saying, I felt connection, I felt joy, I felt wonder, I felt curiosity, I felt my chest expand, I felt my stomach get tight, whatever it is that you feel, so that we know we are being heard. And so Brianna is now going to share a brief piece, and then Emma Ahem and I will model the response. And so the invitation for you all for the next few minutes is to listen, to hold in love and prayer, and to enter into a time where we can all hold each other's intentions together. So Brianna, whenever you're ready.
Thank you, Lisa. I'm not going to say too much about this piece that I'll be sharing because the words are in the piece. But I will say, as I did in my introduction, that this work of deepening into the sense of interconnectedness and interbeing with all of life and changing the hierarchical structure of humanity being at the top of a pyramid and everything else kind of being below it, moving from that kind of theoretical framework into more of a spherical view of life where humans are part and parcel of everything else and everyone else. It's something I have felt deep in my bones my entire life and not known how to verbalize or articulate until very recently. And so this work of moving from a place of separation, both within myself, within my communities and within the wider world towards a place of more interconnection and interbeing, is work that I feel I've been called into and am now stepping more fully into. And in that stepping into the work, writing and songs and movement have been kind of happening spontaneously for me over the past few months, especially. And dreams and visions have kind of been coming to me that I'm trying to be receptive to and aware of. And I have been asked and called to share this song with you, that came through me a couple of weeks ago, that my partner and I were able to record over the holidays. And it is very vulnerable to be sharing something like this with such a large group. And I really appreciate the opportunity to do so. And I appreciate Lisa and Emma and Ahem offering to be my reflectors. So without further ado, this is the song.
Living with this life, joy, love, and tragedy, struggle, pain, and strife. Brought to the brink, we must now learn how to swim. Drowning on shore, facing our collective sin. Humanity didn't know where to go. Our brains were too big and our bodies were for show. When you separate a body from its soul, all that remains of its fire is the coal. Whoa, 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 whoa. What must we do to live in unity? Sacrifice desires and lean on you and me. We breathe in the air that connects us to it all. Inhaling Mother Earth and responding to her call. Humanity doesn't know where to go. Our greed is too great and we're severed from our soul. When you separate a being from the whole, the pain of the loss will begin to take its toll. Whoa, 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 whoa.
Thank you. I felt layers of my being open and open and open as I listened to that, Brianna.
I felt like I was traveling with you. Thank you.
And Emma writes, the word that came to mind for me while hearing you was wandering. And so just as we did, you can speak your feeling response out loud, or you can write it in the chat. We've just been reminded to speak up and into our microphones. I tend to get low and quiet when I go to a settled place. So what we're going to do now is we are going to move you back into breakout rooms. As I said, you'll be with the 2 people you were with before, as well as 3 or 4 other people. You're going to have a full half hour in these rooms to share, so there is some space. We invite people to one at a time share what they have brought, what their intention is. For 1 or 2 people to do the modeling of, this is a thing I felt while listening to you, to either put that in the chat or say it, to leave a little bit of space, and then let the next person speak. We invite you to share however is right for you. Again, you're going to have half an hour in this group, so we invite you to make sure that everyone gets a chance to speak, that there's some space between it, and that you each hold each other's intention and being in loving care in that space. If you have any challenges or needs while that's happening, Jen and I will be here in the main room, and you can ask a question and let us know, and we can come support in any way. So we'll gather back here at 8:15. Thank you for taking the time to do that. Brianna, I think we're just going to move to the next piece that you were going to do for us, and then I'll do some closing pieces.
Great. So to help us ground back into the space together before moving into the final part of the evening, we're going to do another grounding exercise from My Grandmother's Hands, Resmaa Menakem's wonderful book about healing trauma. So if you can get comfortable again with your feet on the floor or reclined, and just close your eyes and pay attention to your body and your breath. Sit comfortably and take a few breaths, feeling the air move in and out of your body, and close your eyes if they aren't already closed. Notice the experience of the chair against your back, and notice the sensation of your feet on the ground. Now, starting with the top of your head, slowly scan your body from top to bottom. Pay attention to each part as you slowly move your attention downward. Notice where there is pain or discomfort, where there is constriction, and where there is relaxation or expansiveness. First, move slowly down your forehead, then through your face, then down your neck. Follow your attention as it moves across the top of your shoulders and onto your shoulder blades, then down your torso and into and down your arms. Continue to descend down your torso and arms, through your hips and buttocks and into your hands. Experience your attention spreading into your fingers and then out your fingertips. Continue moving down your legs, through your knees, and down to your ankles. Pay attention to your major joints, your ankles, knees, hips, wrists, elbows, and shoulders. These are spots where energy often gets blocked. If you feel the urge to move any of these joints, do so now. Follow your attention into your feet, then down into your toes, then into the bottoms of your feet. Take a moment to notice where your soles meet the ground. And take one more deep breath in and out. And as you slowly open your eyes, try to move your body a little bit. You can wiggle your arms around or roll your neck and just kind of move in whatever way feels good, or don't move if it doesn't feel good. Do what you need to do to readjust for these last few minutes of the last 10 or so minutes of the course.
Thanks, Brianna. So we were going to do another breakout group and decided to just leave more time for the last one. And so the questions we were going to invite you to discuss there, we'll share on the Google Classroom. I want to take a few minutes and just talk about how things are going to move forward. Some of you may have shown up tonight expecting that we would get into topics, that we would be learning lots of information, that we would be doing some of the things like that that show up in workshops. We'll get to that. We wanted to start slow. We wanted to start with connection. We wanted to start with relationship, and we wanted to start with being. I've done many workshops that are about conveying information, and this workshop space is different, that we really want to build collective practice of how we be with each other, with the information that we're going to be learning, and how we show up together. What you are going to get tomorrow and what's going to be coming in the next week are two pieces. So there's some homework we're going to ask you to do. There'll be two spiritual practices that have some options in them, and you can choose the one that sounds like it's going to work best for you and modify it however it'll work for you. But the invitation is to try on the spiritual practice for the next 2 weeks. There will also be a kind of more traditional assignment of asking you to read, listen, or watch something in a certain way and do some reflection around it. On the Google Classroom, which I'll talk about in a moment, we have a pretty wonderful collection of reading, listening, and viewing options that where in some workshops, we ask everybody to read the same article and then discuss it. What we're doing here is we're inviting all of us to choose different articles or podcasts or videos around topics that we're interested in and of a length that works for what our time commitment is available. But we're going to use the same practice for how we're going to engage with it. So you'll get more information about that. And then next week, there'll be a video. It'll be shorter than the one we sent out last week that has some pre-work for our next session. What we're trying to do is put the teaching parts in the videos so that when we're together, we can do the being together. For those of you who are opting into the small groups that will meet every other week when we're not meeting as a large group, you will get email information about that tomorrow. And your task is simply to find a time to meet in the following week. We will give you an agenda for that meeting that you can follow, and we'll have some flexibility. If someone in your group has a Zoom account and you're able to use your own Zoom link to meet, that's wonderful. If not, you can email Jen or me and we'll set up a Zoom call for you. So we'll make sure it works. Some people have shared particular time constraints that they have. And so I'm going to do my best with the small groups to both group people locally who want to be grouped locally and work with what people have shared. It might take us a day or two to get those groups sorted. And if you find yourself in a group where your schedules are just completely at odds or it's not going to work, just email me and we'll take care of it. We're going to close in a few minutes. And after we close, Jen and I are going to stay on the line to support with any technical issues. I'll do a little walkthrough of the Google Classroom for folks for whom that kind of site is new or you want a refresher. I will also send out an email later this week with a drop-in support time that I'll be doing this weekend if you can't stay on tonight and are like, okay, how do I access these pieces or do that stuff? So we'll get you the information you need. We'll figure out how to get you connected if you're having challenges. And we will make sure that you have what you need to move forward. Anything that we shared tonight, we will post in the Google Classroom. So the video we started with, I believe we can share Brianna's song, different pieces that we brought in, so you will have access to that. And anything we mention in these times going forward, we'll make sure you have access to after the fact so that you can just be present while we're doing this time and not worry about writing everything down or getting everything. If you have questions, you can chat questions to me or Jen now. And Emma and Brianna, I just want to see if there's anything else you want to mention about pieces before we close out for the evening. You're good? Great. So we started with sound and motion. So let's close out tonight with a little bit of Quaker worship. And you are welcome to sit silently with your eyes open and closed. You're also welcome to scroll through the 5 pages of friends that are present here if you want to take a moment to just look at who else is showing up to do this with you and with us, and have a moment of gratitude for the friends who you got to be with in a small group and those you maybe haven't yet met. Thank you, friends. I always like to close with one hand on my heart and one hand up to you, letting you know that I see you, I appreciate you. I'm glad you've shown up here tonight. And you will get emails from us tomorrow, and we will see you in 2 weeks. And you're welcome to stay on if you want any tech support of the Google Classroom. Thank you, friends. Have a good evening.